So this is Mitsubishi Electric Trane HVAC US. That's a lot of words in a row that seem like they're just trying to get keywords. Announces IntelliHeat dual fuel system. Well, this is pretty cool. See, I'm going to read here. Basically, I can skip down to the third paragraph, I think. During periods of extreme cold, IntelliHeat may switch to the gas furnace. That's right. Gas furnace. We don't even like gas anymore. I think California's trying to get rid of gas, which is a shame because they already have brownouts in their electrical grid. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but whatever. So with this Trane IntelliHeat, it may switch to gas furnace as needed based on capacity threshold and economic balance points. So economic balance points, where does it cost more to run the heat pump instead of the gas so it can switch over to gas? That's basically what they're getting at there. The intelligent switchover function built into the control box of the IntelliHeat system coordinates operation of the furnace and the Mitsubishi electric heat pump. This smart heating management is designed to result in lower gas usage and reduced greenhouse gas emissions while providing homeowner comfort. See, here's the thing I don't understand. We're going right back to this. I have an electrical system, but it's plugged to a grid that's coal powered, a lot of it. I'm all down with doing something efficiently. See, I'm gonna go back to the other screen for just a second. We'll pop back up. Here's my issue with this. My issue with this is not that I'm anti-technology. I feel like if you're gonna create something and usher everybody into the future, we should be able to afford it. Number one, because it's almost like it doesn't really, I'm trying to say it's a misconception or misdirection when you say you're going to save all this money on your heating system or cooling system or whatever. You're going to save tons of money, but you're going to pay so much for the system that it's going to take you so long to pay it back. And by the time you get near that threshold, you're going to be over there buying a part for it, which A, is going to cost way more than just a normal system, and B, it's not in stock anyway. Because as you get out into that very specific region, you also get into the proprietary region where they just make this one fan motor. It's a DC fan motor, and it only works with this one system. And it's on a boat right now in between China. We think pirates actually have attacked this boat, and they're in control of the DC fan motors because the Somali pirates now know that those are more valuable than anything else. That's what I worry about. I think if you have a good distributor, you're not going to have a problem with that. If you have a distributor that's well stocked, or you're a large enough company where you actually stock the parts, and you're not going to have a problem with that. It's a great point. Luke Vagel in the comments said, I sell comfort, not efficiency. I sell comfort, not efficiency. I think that's the right way to go. I think we had to talk about this on this show at one point about how, I think it was Zone Systems actually. You're not selling the fact that they cost less. You're selling the fact that the house is more comfortable. And that makes sense, because if you tell somebody I can make your house within 2 or 3 degrees in every single room, or we can do a cheaper system where you might have a swing of whatever the legal limit is for. There's legal limit is legal limit. It may sound like you're drinking, but like if you have like a 4-degree swing, and we'll do the Bosch in a second. The Bosch is better than before. The swing of 4 degrees in temperature. Maybe it's not quite 4, because you're supposed to have a swing, but it doesn't mean in real life you have a swing. And that's one of the other problems I have. There's a lot of theoretical stuff out there that when you put it into real life, it changes. Now, I will say that with the Seer 2, that's more reflective of a real environment. When you're going from Seer to Seer 2 and you're having to put the system up against a higher static pressure, man, and you're just putting it up against normal static pressure. You're not even counting all the systems that are double that. So, I mean, it's kind of where you should be. If you're going, if everything's equal, then you should be doing it against 0.5. I'm not saying that their systems are perfect. I'm just saying that it wasn't realistic before. I personally think we should be able to put in 10 Seer equipment. That condenser cost like $400 back in the day. I still remember the Johnstone receipt. $450 for your condenser. That sounds good. I'll do that. Let's get to, so I agree with Luke. It's about comfort, not efficiency. I get that. But when it's so far out of bounds, I mean, if you have someone of means who doesn't care, I mean, that's fine. With me, I care. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of extra means floating around here. But God, look, it's a Ryobi. It's Ryobi, guys. It's not like it's something fancy like Bauer. All right. Shannon Knight comes in here saying he likes swingers. Unrelated topic. John says, how is your Bosch doing with humidity? The first year with Bosch, it was the worst. Uh, I don't know if you know this, but I did zone it afterwards, and the zoning improved the situation. The set point, all my whole life, my set point's been low for cooling and heating. So the fact that it's cool for both of them means it's just me personally. But I'll tell you straight up, I'll set the thing at like 70 degrees. I'll set my AC at 69 degrees. I like it cold. In heating season, I wouldn't mind. Now my family won't do this, but I wouldn't mind if it was 65 inside the house. Because I'm all the time outside. I'm out here in the shop. Shop doesn't have an air conditioner right now. It's 64.9 in here. But when I come in here in the morning, it's like 48. It still holds a little bit of residual heat. We have the computer in here. We have chargers. We have some tools that run the lighting. So, it's 48. It's pretty cold. I turn the heater on for a little while, but it's okay. I'm okay with that sort of thing. When it gets down into the 30s, we got a problem because I don't know. I'm getting older or whatever it is. My fingers will start hurting, and it'll actually be difficult to use my hands because the joints will hurt. Like an old person, or like any one of us out there that's worked in the trade for like 20 years and your joints take a beating. How's everybody's knees doing? You know what I'm saying? How's the kneecaps doing? How's your back doing from all the times you were so strong when you were younger and you were showing off? It's just one of those things. You're going to have wear and tear on those joints. My HVAC Life says my dual fuel switches at 30 degrees. Outdoor temperature works great. Trane's 2-stage 18i heat pump with S9V furnace. So that's pretty good. Most of the time I remember them being a little bit higher than that, but I guess it depends on what system you're putting in too. Because you can put in like a blanket, like I'm going to do it at 35 degrees, or I'm going to do it at 38 degrees, or whatever it is that you choose. Each system is better in different conditions. So, a heat pump that's a variable speed, that's going to be able to heat more efficiently at lower temperatures. So these guys, let me go over to this other screen because these guys were having it like insanely low. All right, let's see. During periods of extreme cold, IntelliHeat may switch to the gas furnace as needed based on capacity threshold and economic balance points. Intelligent skip. IntelliHeat connects to a Mitsubishi electric single or multi-zone outdoor heat pump and is available in 18, 24, 30, all the way up to 42 capacities. Hyperheat inverters, H2I systems, are compatible and available for both single and multi-zone applications. The H2I models provide full rated heating capacity, even when the outdoor ambient is as low as 5 degrees. So there you go, 5 degrees right there. When you have, and we talked about this previously on the show because I brought up the Bosch statistics on heating, and I brought up like an old Goodman unit on heating because I like to beat up on Goodman because Goodman deserves it. Basically, that's why I like to beat up on them, because they sit there and go, hit me. The Goodman drops off like a rock in cold weather as far as capacity. These things do not. The Hyperheat does not. So you're going to change that balance point. It can be much lower, which is good, meaning that you don't have to run that gas until you get down to 5 degrees. If that were my neck of the woods, that wouldn't be ever. That would never happen. But in different parts of the country, like I was looking at the forecast, my wife's family lives in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, and it was going to be 30 for the high all week. But I've seen days when there was a few days that like a negative number was the high. I'm like, I don't think so, Tim. My fingers hurt and it's 35 degrees. I don't know what they're going to feel like at -5. I'm pretty sure it's going to suck. So that's a negative on that. John says, do you have the 2.0 Bosch? I do. I do have the 2.0 Bosch. It has a 2-speed fan motor. And like I said, with the zoning, I've been more pleased with it this year. And I'm thinking that when I first put it in, Chuck was telling me, he's like, hey, all right, maybe this has to do with some of the residual moisture that's in the house itself. And at first I was like, all right, well, that ought to dissipate really, really fast. But then I thought about it, because here's what happened. One of my friends owns a lumber mill. So he cut me some long 12 by 3 pine pieces of lumber. And to dry out completely, because each inch of this wood might take up to a year to dry, depending on what you're doing. If you're doing slow, that is 3 years of drying out. So it definitely makes sense that when you first have a house that's been open, especially in the summertime here, and you're trying to condition it, it could take a substantial time to dry out. That makes a lot of sense. And that's why my cabinets flexed off the wall. There's like a 1/4-inch gap on some of the cabinets, which the home company doesn't want to fix because they say it's out of warranty, even though their guy came to fix it and didn't fix it right the first time. And I try to tell my wife, says, I'll just work on the house myself. Let's leave these guys out of it. Okay. Cause these guys, it's like watching the friggin' home warranty company arrive. It's like, hey, where's the problem at? I got some glue sticks. It's like, no thanks, pal. Come back some other time.